Well, guys, I didn't have this on my list when I woke up this morning. Do you guys remember AT&T's Lily? She was like on pretty much every single AT&T wireless commercial for many, many years. I believe up until 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, guys, she was in so many commercials. I ended up actually thinking her name was actually Lily, but that's that's the character's name, and the actress is actually named Miliana. So it's been a while since we've actually seen her in commercials. I believe she's actually been in some movies, but really, guys, she's not really a mainstream actress, I guess you can say. At least not in any big roles. AT&T was really a calling card, and that ended like 5 years ago. So what is her next move? Now, from what I actually understand about her, folks, she seems to be a feminist. She didn't want people objectifying her body. But let's be real, guys. If you've actually seen pictures of her, she got a rack. And you can't miss it. Maybe in the AT&T commercials, because, you can miss it because she was actually dressed up like a worker. But if you actually look at other stuff that she's been in or whatever, she got a rack. Just keeping it real, folks. Just keeping it real. Now, since her AT&T days are over with, folks, guess what she's doing now? She's actually selling ass for cash. I'm not making this up. Now, she's saying this is all for charity. I guess those I think for the wildfires in California, you guys remember that, right? Yeah. But to me, aren't there better ways to actually raise money? Because think of this, guys. If you're going to strip down naked and sell your photos, you're doing that because you enjoy it. Pretty much, guys, she's turned into an OnlyFans model, but she did these pictures with Only Philosophy. Yeah, a campaign for them. Not one, but two. I guess the first one was such a huge success that she said, you know what? I want to strip down naked again. Folks, this is a very fine line she's walking, folks. This is a very, very fine line. Now, we know a lot of the top creators on OF, they make Hollywood actors and actresses type of money. The elites of the elites. She's not an elite actress. Everybody knew her for AT&T, and those days are over with, folks. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Here we go. Right over here on Bro Bible, former AT&T girl Miliana Vantrop announces she's made over $500,000 selling risque pits for charity. Now, is all this money actually going to charity? Okay, let's just say that it is. But folks, she knows she has an amazing body. She can make a whole bunch of money. She could actually thought of other ways to actually raise money for charity. There's a Give, Send, Go. There's a GoFundMe. But now she said, I want to take it all off. I want to show everything. And that's exactly what she did. Says here, actress Miliana Vantrop, best known for a role as Lily, the long-running commercials for the cell phone service AT&T, has announced she has raised over $500,000 through her Only Philanthropy endeavor. Only Philanthropy. That's an interesting name, guys, considering, that OnlyFans actually exists. You know what I'm saying? Saw the 38-year-old actress selling flirty photos of herself and then directing the proceeds to victims of the Los Angeles wildfires. Miliana Vantrop did her first set of Only Philanthropy photos back in March and used the money to help out a single Los Angeles mother who lost everything in the LA fires from earlier this year. And then in July, she announced a second photo shoot with the goal of helping over 30 families. The results of that second round of selling flirty photos is now in, and Van Traub has raised over $500,000 for charity. Quote, "We raised over $500,000 together this year. Now let's grow this into something bigger, stranger, and more powerful, and more creators jumping in," the actress announced on her Instagram this week. Earlier this year, Van Traub is explaining her thinking behind the project, quipping that she was, quote, "using the male gaze to fight the blaze." Yeah. This woman at one point didn't want men like objectifying her, and now she wants men to pay money to look at her naked. Interesting. Like I said, guys, she couldn't think of another way to actually raise money for charity. Quote, "I did a flirty photo shoot and I'm trying something new. I love helping people and I'm figuring out the best way to make the most of what I've got to do with that. And what I've got is you. So here's the deal. You donate, I send a few flirty pics as a thank you. A little fun for a cause. Follow the link in bio. Let's make this experiment worth remembering. Using the male gaze to fight the blaze," the 38-year-old actress announced earlier this year. "I did another flirty photo shoot, and I want to do something good with it again. In March, you helped me fundraise for a single mom who lost everything in LA fire, and I think we should do it again. This time, I'm hoping to fulfill over 30 GoFundMes for disabled families affected by the same fire, which will help. Turns out this little only philanthropy experiment actually worked. So, shall we do it again? This is how it works. You give, I send a few flirty pics. You help people who really need it. Let's trade some playful, exclusive content for real world impact," Van Traub wrote on Instagram over the summer. Wow. Wow. Now they say she actually appeared in Ghostbusters. I'm assuming that was that Ghostbusters 2016 nobody watched. Silicon Valley, never heard of it. Love, never heard of it. This Is Us, never heard of it. And Die Hard, never heard of it. Okay. Her biggest starring role is set to release next year, as she has a part in the Ryan Gosling sci-fi film Project Hail Mary. Don't know how big a role she's actually going to have in that movie. Wow. Isn't this something, guys? Isn't this something? And this is only philanthropy right here. Yeah. You guys see using the male gaze to fight the blaze. Now, this is her right here, guys. She knows that she actually has some assets right there. She knows that. So now she's putting it out there. Folks, I believe she's changed her career. I think so. And I believe this is actually some of the pictures right here. You see, she's actually covered up. I believe this is from the actual photo shoot. And they have her covered up. So I believe she's topless right there, as well as bottomless. She ain't wearing nothing. She's showing it all right there, guys. She is showing it all. She's 38 years old, guys. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of people, man, that make a whole bunch of money on OF and other platforms as well. A lot. She actually went from this to this. Yep. She's doing it, man. She is doing it. I think her career now has changed. I really do. 38 years old. She's never been a big time star. AT&T was the biggest thing. Nothing wrong with that. But like I said, man, I could have thought of other ways to actually raise money instead of stripping out naked completely. And guys, you know those photos are going to be on the internet. Those photos aren't exclusive. Once you actually put it out there, guess what? The whole world is going to see it. And guess what? They don't have to pay for it because the internet is undefeated. It is forever. You put photos out there, I don't care if it's exclusive, people pay for it. It's going to wind up in the hands of people that didn't pay for it. It's just that simple. You could have easily just raised money for people that needed it from the wildfires without doing this. But you did this because you really wanted to. If that's your career goal, go ahead. That's your business. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.